Hello music lovers, welcome to my channel. My name is Caesar Pink.
Let your mama down. Let your mama down. Let your mama down. Baby, please.
Today we're going to listen to Deep Purple's Child in Time live somewhere in I think 1970. But we have special guest today, Tabyn McCormick. Did I pronounce both those names right?
You're absolutely right.
And Tabyn is a very talented up-and-coming guitar player. Do you sing as well?
Yeah, I sing. I also I play keyboards and I play bass. Yeah.
And you're developing as a songwriter and producer as well.
Yes, I am.
And you're. Well, talk a little about your background. How did your father inspire you with music?
Well, if you listen, I guess, to the stuff I make, you're not really gonna hear too much of like an artistic or musical influence from him. It's a lot of it's drastically different, but I do feel like in a way he might have inspired me in the sense when I was maybe 12, 13, whatever, to kind of want to become a musician in the sense that he was kind of like the mold that showed me that, all these kind of famous popular singers that you idolize, you can kind of be like that. It's not just a faraway dream that you can never touch. He kind of showed me that you could try and get there.
Now, what was your young experience? Were you like in clubs seeing him play, or music in the house?
There was a mix. I think there was probably a mix of things. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you when I say I don't really remember too much from my really young childhood. I don't know why, but I don't remember too much. But I would say that I probably witnessed him playing in places a lot growing up when I was, from the time I was, baby up to adolescent. And I feel like that maybe left an impression of me more and more over time as I got older.
Yeah. Now, at the time you were starting to become a musician, what music was inspiring you?
Well, throughout my life, my taste has had a wide range. I mean, when I was first growing up, I would say maybe pop and rock was maybe what I was listening to the most. I mean, when I was really young, I had a big Michael Jackson phase. I loved Michael Jackson. I also loved other 80s pop stars like George Michael and Prince and Madonna and stuff like that. And I still love that kind of music. Yeah, so that was probably when I would say I first really became really like big into music, was when I started listening to that kind of stuff when I was pretty young, I would say. Yeah.
And now, on my own taste, did you go back and listen to the Jackson 5?
Yes, I have. I have listened to the Jackson 5, and I love the Jackson 5.
Yeah, there's some like incredibly funky pop music in the Jackson 5.
I love the Jackson 5.
And as far as your guitar playing itself, are there certain guitar players who have influenced your development?
Well, when I was maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I might have said some of the, like, when it comes to, if we're specifically talking about, because for me, there's lead guitar and then there's rhythm guitar influences. And I mean, maybe in terms of lead guitar, it might have been a mix of like some of the Prince's funkier lead licks that he would do, as well as maybe even blues or blues rock guitarists like Stevie Ray Vaughan or maybe even Eric Clapton or B.B. King.
What about for rhythm?
For rhythm, I mean, then again, also more of that Prince stuff, as well as a lot of that late 70s, early 80s, like funk and disco, ranging from Cameo to the Gap Band, stuff like that. Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. So, do you have any plans in the next couple of years of things that you're going to do?
Yeah, I mean, I've had plans about becoming, a musician on my own right, and, making and producing my own music. I guess really, Caesar, the big thing that I've been kind of thinking about is whether or not I would want to do it all on my own, playing all the instruments and producing all of it on my own, or if I would maybe want to have some other people along the way in the studio and live to. Definitely live, but I'm really thinking about in the studio whether or not I would want to have people come and play with me, because if I'm being honest with you, the big thing is I see it like I'm really the only person who's going to know what I specifically want on my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I kind of feel like, playing with other people in terms of recording with other people can kind of get a bit
compromise,
or tedious, or just kind of like, because you might spend a long time trying to explain to somebody, well, no, I want you to play it like this, or I want you to sing it like this, or I want you to do it like this, and then it can kind of, they might not understand you. It might take a while, but then maybe they would want to do it their own way. You get my point. It can get very compromised. Perfectly.
I mean, that's the Prince thing, right? He would play every instrument.
Yes.
And I, as a songwriter and a band leader, I definitely understand that. But also, and maybe this is something that develops over time, it's like having the guest in is kind of the fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, inviting your dad up to sing backing vocals, it like gives me a chance to work with a friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%.
And I'll do the other thing too, is I'll sometimes ask people who are kind of musicians who are bigger stars, and sometimes it's sort of as a favor, I'll come in and play a keyboard solo or a guitar solo. That's a real thrill for me.
That's great.
I've been turned down by some, but then some have said yes, and I have a few people. One person there were a couple that I really thought they could have been gotten, but I couldn't get through them. One was the second guitar player for the Rolling Stones, Keith McTaylor.
I've heard the name.
Yeah, a great guitar player, and I heard he was like in Connecticut on Hard Times. I'm like, I bet he'll come do it, for money.
Oh yeah.
But I could not get through to him.
Yeah.
And the other guy is Bernie Worrell from Parliament Funkadelic.
Oh yeah.
Bernie
was a great keyboard player.
But he had kind of fallen on hard times, and I was able to get through to his daughter. But I don't know what happened. It just never went through, and then he died.
There wasn't really a link there.
Yeah, it kind of like we were talking, and then it fell away, and then he died. So I don't, and I don't know what was going on with him, whether there were any drugs or alcohol problems or health problems. I don't know exactly, but man, I would love to work with Bernie. I got to meet him once.
Mm-hmm.
We were playing club, and we're about ready to go on, and the guy somebody from the club comes into the dressing room and says, the band at the club next door wants to borrow your keyboard. And we're kind of like, borrow our keyboard? Fuck, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah.
And, we're just about ready to go on. And he comes back and he says, Lou Reed and Dave, whatever his name was from the Eurythmics, just played Letterman. And there's a club next door, and they want to do an impromptu set. Can I borrow your keyboard? So I'm like, well, Lou Reed, sure, if I can get in for free. So we go over there, take the keyboard over, and it's Bernie Worrell is the keyboard player. And he's like wasted out of his mind. But he's just like, I need an organ, a clav, and a piano. So we show him where to find those things, and got to see a 30-minute set of Lou Reed and Bernie Worrell and whatever that guy's name is from the Eurythmics. But yeah, that was really fun. Anyways, I got way off topic here.
Yeah.
But to go back to your plans in the foreseeable future. Well, no, what I wanted to talk about. So you're out doing gigs with your father, and that must be great experience, because a lot of people kind of get to a place where they're recording or trying to launch a career, and they have no experience playing the clubs and out there paying dues. So what is that like for you?
I love it. I mean, it does kind of create and this is nothing personal to my dad, but it does create a bit of a double-edged sword in a way, because it is also like, it might be things a little challenging when it comes to developing your own style and doing something drastically different, maybe kind of shocking people.
Right, yeah.
Like, oh my God, I can't believe that Ryan McCormick's son is doing that kind of
Yeah.
crazy artsy music.
Yeah. Well, everybody has to rebel against their father,
Yeah,
right?
well.
Just so you know, his father's standing right there, so I'm
Yeah,
putting
he
him
is.
on the spot.
Yeah.
But do you have any thoughts in the next couple years of starting a band or joining a band?
I have, yeah. I mean, I've thought about, so, I go to school in Westchester, and I have thought about, at times, about forming, I've had really different incarnations of groups or ideas of groups. I've never formed anything for real, but I've thought about, all right, I want to, find 2, 3, maybe 4 people at school, and we can get together as, a singer, a keyboard player, guitar player, maybe a drummer, maybe drum machine, something like that. I've thought about that sort of thing even up to recently, and I'm still thinking about it. But the only issue with that is, next year's going to be my last year, so it kind of leaves me with a bit of a compromised amount of time to get that together.
Right.
And it's also difficult to find people maybe who might have the same music taste as me. I'm really good friends with some people at school who do have similar taste to me, but it's still kind of difficult. And also the distance, because we live far away. I live in Lewistown right now, and that's it's near State College, really far from Westchester, which is near Philadelphia area.
Right.
So it kind of makes it a bit difficult to be able to do band stuff. The only thing I could really think of is maybe half hour of lunch once a week. We would get together and maybe do a couple songs, but that's maybe the extent of what we could do right now. So
Right.
That is difficult. But I have, to answer your question, yes, I have thought multiple times about forming or starting my own bands with other people I know.
About the things you're talking about, tell you my experience. When I was young, I started out as a drummer, and I was like very shy and socially awkward. So, it was a band, like a democratic type of band that I was in as a drummer. And, it gave me a little time to experience, because if you're going to be a band leader, that is a whole art within itself. Like
Yes.
how to communicate with the band, not only what you want musically, but how to inspire them, how to deal with them and get them to do what you want without degrading them or insulting them. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like you have to give them a vision and say this is what we're going to do, and your role is going to be great for this. You know what I mean? Like you have to really be almost like a spiritual leader, sending them towards your vision. And that, it's a skill and it takes time to develop. I certainly did not have it when I was young.
Yeah.
What helped me is I went to film school when I was a little older, and when you're a director, that's the same skill. You know what I mean? Like telling people what to do in a way that inspires them. So then when I went back to music, that really helped me to have the role of a band leader. But of course, as you know, what really helps is paying them.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, when we started the Imperial Orgy, I wasn't paying them, so I had to inspire these people to want to do it on my direction, just for the love of doing it. So it's a whole thing. But I'm sure if you don't have that skill naturally, you'll develop it.
Yes,
That's your
absolutely.
goal.
I think over time it will develop. I mean, the good thing is because I'm 17 now, and I'm still young. I'm a young person, so I have lots of time under my belt to develop that sort of thing and move on with my music. It's not like I'm in my 30s later in life, and all right, I gotta move this along. I gotta get this together. I have good 5-10 years of my life at least to get it together.
Now, if you saw me looking out there, I was looking to Ryan, seeing if he picked up in the 30s later in life.
No, I know that sounds so horrible to say it like that, but for a lot.
Well, for really having a career as a rock or pop musician, your time is real limited.
Well, yeah.
When I was 30, I had management telling me to lie about my age.
Really?
Yeah.
What did they say? You want to say you're 25 or something like that?
And I don't remember what they said, but I remember like, holy shit, you know.
Like, because you have to understand. I'm kind of talking to all the people who maybe aren't as familiar with the music business in general. He said it perfectly. When you're a pop star or a rock star or whatever, you kind of, especially even in today's world, but it's really always been that way. Where if you're in your 30s, that's considered like
The end of your career.
a bit ancient to some people.
I mean, these days we've learned that if you've made it while you're young, you can kind of continue forever.
Oh yeah.
But to try to make it, as I know, make it into business commercially, let me say, to try to do it once you're over a certain age, you're not even. It's impossible. Like you're not considered if you. I mean, the music business is so screwed up right now. It's hard to even think about it in any logical way.
Yeah.
But
I agree with you.
But another way though to approach the band leader thing, or not band leader, but like what the Beatles did, whoever wrote the song was the boss of that song as far as production went. So that's a way like to get people like, oh, you do these songs the way I want to, and I'll do a few of your songs the way you want to, and it's like you're the boss of your song, and you one for you, one for me, so forth. But anyways, great talking to you. Let's move on. We're going to listen to Deep Purple, Child in Time. If you don't, Deep Purple is a band that came out of England. I'm not sure when. I think they may have had a hit in like '67 called Hush that was kind of like psychedelic pop.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had a second, new guitar player and new singer, and that's kind of considered their classic lineup. And their big fame came from an album called Machine Head and a live album called Made in Japan.
Right. Okay.
And I love a lot of that album. It has so many like fun, like stage things. Like it has a Hammond organ solo, and then goes into this swinging blues thing. And they have a bit which is like what classic thing in the '70s, where they play a song and then they simmer it down, and they do a lead guitar vocal duet. So it's like the guitar player goes and the singer copies that, and it's just like fun live stuff that I really get into.
That's great. Yeah.
But the song we're going to listen to, it's called Child in Time. I don't know what album it was originally from. It's on the live album. And I just recently found out it was meant to be a war protest song, even though it's not like war is bad. It's a very interesting song.
Right.
And the vocals are amazing. And then the guitar player, Richie Blackmore, is a great player.
Yes, I've heard of him.
Who now tours doing Renaissance music with a band playing like acoustic Renaissance music. I've never heard that, but kind of
I might
interesting.
not say too much during this just because I'm trying to kind of soak it up. That's what I usually do with music.
Yeah, and I'll stop it a few times and talk about things. So here we go.
9 minutes, 35 seconds.
Now, the first thing interesting to me is that it's not very often in modern music where you would hear a little instrumental section, an organ solo, go on for so long. It would just be like, move on, you know what I mean?
No.
There's no time to...
Most of the time it's maybe 15, 20 seconds.
Yeah. But I also love right there, he had that little bit of dissonance. Did you catch that? Where he was playing two notes right beside each other. Just like... a sweet ugliness, you know.
It's taking something that usually it wouldn't work together, but it works together in that context.
Yeah.
Sweet child, in time, you'll see the line that's drawn between the good and the bad. See the blind man, yeah, he's shooting at the world, bullets flying, oh, taking toll. If you've been bad, Lord, I bet you have, and you've not been hit, you've not been hit by flying lead.
Now, before the song takes off, I'm going to talk a little bit about the singer, Ian Gillan. An amazing vocalist. Now, one thing about him, he played Christ on the album soundtrack of Jesus Christ Superstar.
Okay.
Have you ever heard that album?
I've heard of like the musical Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yeah. Now, I'm not a religious person at all, but
Yeah.
it is a great rock album. And what happened with that play, they couldn't get money to produce the play, so they decided to just produce the music from it on a 2-album set. And Ian Gillan played Christ, and the album became such a big hit, had multiple hit songs from it, and they got money to do the play. But in a few minutes, this song's going to take off, and you'll hear why I think
Yeah, it just has a very long intro.
Yeah, but you'll hear why I think he's an incredible vocalist.
You better close your eyes. You better bow your head. Wait for the ricochet. I'm crying for you day and night.
Robert Plant.
I wanna hear you singing.
It's even higher. Let's stop a second. Now, not only did these guys get away with this, but they made money at it. I mean, we live in a world where most of the music is verse, chorus, out. And whatever the hell they're doing here structurally as the song goes on is
It's very bizarre. It's very- yeah.
It's way out there.
That word is so-
Now, something that, I really love the keyboard player and the guitar player, Richie Blackmore. And something that I think they have that make them great soloists is it's not just like running up and down the scales as fast as they can to show what they can do. Their solos are like little stories. They start somewhere, they move, they evolve, they have a beginning, middle, and ending, and I think that's what makes these guys so great.
Yeah.
Stop on a dime. Stop right there for a second.
May I ask you something? I noticed the people in the audience, they look like they've never seen something like this before in their lives. This is 1970, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely like they're just in awe. And maybe it's just because of the time and the setting. They're not saying anything. They're just like totally like engaged with it.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's just like, wow.
There's two ways to read that, and I like the way you read it because I've heard other people saying like, this is going on and they look so calm and bored, but hopefully they were just super engaged.
They might also be tripping acid for all we know.
Well, I think this was like a TV show, so it might have been like a weird vibe,
Yeah.
I watched a video from Grand Funk Railroad in 1969, filmed at a local TV station in Allentown.
Mm-hmm.
And they are like rocking, going crazy, and the audience again is just like sitting there so meek and quiet. So who knows? Well, you have any thoughts on the two solos that we saw?
I like how, in a way, the electric guitar and the Hammond organ they didn't play. They almost kind of played it with each other in a way. Like they kind of tried to mimic each other's like style in a sense, and rhythm. And melody. I feel like they weren't trying to play against each other.
Right.
They were trying to work together to like kind of sew together the entire fabric of the song. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense.
Yeah. You mean like taking, like say the melodic ideas in the overall song and inserting that into our solos?
Yes. Because in a lot of cases where you have guitar and keyboards both as the lead instruments in a song, you'll often hear them kind of competing against each other.
Yeah.
You'll hear a gritty guitar against these big keyboard stabs, which is cool as well, but it's also nice at the same time to sometimes hear a way where they kind of work together with each other as well.
Right. Well, if they, and a lot, you get into musician psychology and you do get people actually battling egos musically. And that can lead to a real disaster where the cohesion can fall apart if those egos get out of control with what they're playing.
Yeah, I mean, that's why a lot of bands break up. It's because the ego.
Well, I saw, do you know the band, I think they were called Living Color?
Yes, they have, what's his name? Corey Taylor.
Yeah.
I think is his name. But not Corey Taylor. He's the guy from
Corey something.
It's Corey something. Vernon Reed. I know he's the big guy. I said Corey Taylor. That's the guy from that metal band Slipknot. Yeah.
But I saw them, and they were a good band. I had fun, but it's like at the end of every two measures, the drummer, the guitar player, and the bass player would suddenly do these fills, and they weren't together. It was just like, oh, we have the groove, and it's like, blah, blah, blah. And suddenly it's like, what? And they did that repeatedly throughout the whole night.
It got annoying.
Well, I'm just like, guys, calm it down. It's going to be better for everybody. Anyways, let's finish this off.
in time.
That'd be a funny thing. I was a kid when this was famous, and I'm sitting in the living room. I'm in grade school, and
Were you my age or were you younger than me?
I was like 5th, 6th grade when I got into this. And anyways, Deep Purple comes on TV, and my mother's like, "Those guys look like they need a bath."
Oh no, I totally get that. They have like this like shaggy, worn out hair.
Yeah, the drummer looks like
the hair kind of reminds me. This is gonna sound really weird because this is a drastically different era. His hair kind of looks like Robert Smith's like hair.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
so like frizzy and like worn out and like uncombed.
I love Robert, but he looks pretty rough these days.
Oh my god, yeah.
A line that's drawn between the good and the bad. See the blind man, yeah, he's shooting at the world, bullets flying, oh, they're taking toll. If you feel bad, Lord, I bet you have.
For non-musicians out there, if you see him like this, that means usually that the singer is having a little trouble hearing himself, so he puts his finger in his ear so he can make sure that he's on pitch. And this is, some not easy vocal stylings he's doing.
And you've not been hit, not been hit by flying lead. You better close your eyes, you better bow your head. Wait for the ricochet.
I love these screams.
Yeah, I think it's really wild to play it. That's pretty well.
Yeah.
I wanna hear you sing.
It's higher every time.
I would love to have that capacity with a singer to jam like that.
I'm a baritone. It's like very little range.
Now this part here always confused me, and maybe still confuses me. Like, he starts like talking through this. I don't know what it's all about, but it was on the album.
Three times I tried to be with you. The first
Spoken
time,
word, that's
you can never know.
Yeah.
The second time, you
I've seen
never
that
mind.
talk.
And the third time, I blew my mind all against the wall.
Let me tell you a little funny story. On the live album, between the song, he says to the sound man, "Could you turn everybody up louder than everybody else?"
That's a confusing statement.
And then it comes back to the musician's ego. Like, everybody wants to be louder than everybody else. So, sound man, your job is to turn everybody up louder than everybody else. But anyways, any thoughts on the song?
I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, like, you don't. I guess really, it was a very abstract rock song. You don't really hear much stuff like that. really in general, really throughout any time, but especially today, you don't really hear much stuff like that. And I must say, he has a very high tenor voice that was like almost operatic in a way.
Yeah.
Like almost opera-like, I compared it to Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin. His voice, because his voice has that really high. Like
I wonder actually if he did have a theater background, a
I'm
theater
sure he
vocal side,
musical theater or something.
Yeah, which is a kind of different type of singing. Although he's certainly a rock singer.
I can tell that for sure because I was briefly involved with musical theater myself, like about a year or two ago, maybe 2 summers ago, yeah. And I can tell you it's a whole different way of singing compared to a rock or a pop singer.
Yeah. Now, when I was getting into rock, 5th or 6th grade, there was a lot of music out, like music making big money, very popular, that was instrumental or had a lot of instrumental.
Yeah.
And structurally all over the place. And a specific thing happened, a couple things that made all the musicians pressure them into going into the pop song structure. And that was such a disappointment for me, and really from Evermore. It's like, geez, things just aren't as exciting as they were to me. Like, I really long for more complex structural.
Well, I like a pop song but still has an artsy edge.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Well, the Beatles were the perfect example, where they were like doing the pop structure, very strong melodies, but then there were these
little bits that were kind of. Another example of that. I like her, but I have to admit I'm not as familiar with the music. Bjork.
Oh, yeah.
She's a perfect example of someone who is a pop singer but has a very artsy edge to her music. It's very out there. So
well, yeah, she has albums that are like so far out there. I listen to them fascinated, but I don't get it. You know what I mean?
Even you don't get it.
Yeah, it hasn't like had that magic moment. I'm like, but yeah, I only in recent years did I get into Bjork, although I was a fan of her band, the Sugar Cubes.
Yeah.
I ran into her at the video store once.
Oh, you ran into her?
Yeah. I didn't talk to her. She was talking with somebody, but she looked like, it's Sunday morning. I'm not going to get dressed or put on makeup. I'm going to run out to the video. It was so cool.
Sure.
And so it was fun.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's Deep Purple, and if that appealed to you, check out Made in Japan. It's an incredible music experience. Thank you for visiting the channel. If you have thoughts or comments or other songs you want me to react to, and thank you, Tabyn. And see you soon, I hope.
Yeah, see y'all.